everyone, and welcome back. I am happy to be with you today. It's another beautiful morning in Western North Carolina. Sun is shining, it's a little bit warmer, so we're outside. And today, it's a requested practice of shoulders and twists, two of my kind of favorite areas, and at the same time, kind of the areas that are a little tricky for me personally to work. So we'll go through some nice shoulder opening, some rotation to increase the mobility of the joints. We'll work some twisting to not only work the spine and those various positions that twists offer, but we will also work on lengthening the spine. And what this will do is it'll help detox the body. So when we twist, it's like taking a washcloth that's filled with water and wringing it out. And then the water leaving the washcloth is the toxins that can be stored in our body. No matter how healthy you eat, no matter how much exercise you receive, there's still going to be toxins, environmental toxins, the air that we breathe. So it's good from time to time to do some twists. So I appreciate the recommendation this morning for a twisting practice. So really the only props that you might want to have handy, so if you do have a block, if you have some therapy balls or a tennis ball, even a golf ball would work. And if you don't have that handy, certainly not necessary. We can do without. But let's go ahead and take a moment. If you'd like, take your block and place it underneath your seat, as I am doing now. And we want to allow those sit bones, which we talk about almost every single class, to be just shy of the leading edge of the block. So you feel that the sit bones are moving in. There's a slight tilt forward in your pelvis, which creates that nice natural curve in your lower back, the extension, the curve into the body. And then we feel the upper chest start to open and expand. Take a couple rounds of breath, eyes open, eyes closed, whatever works best for you. And if this is your first time joining us in this practice, first of all, welcome. And for everybody out there, this is an important thing. This is your practice. So as we move through our class today, understanding that your body is different than everybody else that's participating in this class. So honor that, respect it, move with grace, move with respect, and move with a mindfulness that allows the body to receive the benefits of our practice and not certainly bring any harm. There's a term that we refer to or use in yoga. It's called ahimsa. And ahimsa, literally translated, means no harm. So certainly no harm to our bodies as we practice. Take a couple rounds of breath, settling in your seat towards the block itself or the mat, whatever you're elevated on or seated on. Offering some deep rounds of breath. And just take a moment here in these early cycles of breathing to explore the body to see how you feel. And we will continue to remain in this position for just a little bit longer as we settle in, connecting to our body space, connecting to the breath. And then we can start to deepen the awareness of areas of the body that perhaps are holding any form of tension or stress. The shoulders is one of those areas that it's a great storage facility for stress and tension. And then that leads up into the neck and into the jaw and potentially give us headaches. It can move down into the upper body, into the arms. Breathing. And then in a very gentle way, we'll start to connect a little bit of movement to our breath. So as you inhale, move the shoulders up towards the ears, and just about halfway up, start to draw them back, and then on your exhale, let them slide back down your back. So let's do this a couple more times. Just some nice, gentle up and back movement. Notice the actions of the scapula or shoulder blade begin to move up and down the back. It's almost like you're giving yourself a little bit of a massage in that region of the body. And then from that position, we're going to pause on the up and then move them forward and down. So up, forward, and down. So now you start to feel a little bit more action in that upper back, a little bit more rounding. If you're practicing on your own at any time, remember an important part of the practice is we want to make sure that the body is balanced. So we always move both sides, and we, under most circumstances, about 100% really, we want to move in both directions. Okay. And then come back into neutral in the up position, draw the shoulders back and let them slide back and hold that position. Engage the core, that Uddiyana Bandha region. Take your legs, if their legs are crossed, and gently push the feet towards the midline. So feel that you're pushing them in opposite directions to give you a little sense of engagement in the pelvic floor. Let that energy move up into the body. Find a little bit more length as the crown of the head starts to feel like it's moving towards the sky. So you just feel a sense of space within the body, a little bit of length. We'll take a moment here to set the intention of this practice, and from this intention, we draw the hands into prayer to the heart. We offer a deep, full breath. We bow our heads on an exhale to set the intention of this practice. We release, hands come back towards the thighs, and lean forward just enough to release that block, or whatever you're elevated on, place it off to the side. Take your hands behind you, actively roll the shoulders apart, sit up as tall as you can, pull your belly in, pull the ribs in, and then sit tall, and then take that right arm outside your right hip. Now I'm not mirroring you all, so it's looking like I'm doing the opposite side of you, but I'm actually doing the same side. Right hand is out, take that right crease of the elbow and kind of rotate it so you're facing away, and take that left arm up and over. And as you take that left arm open, let that left hip get a little bit heavier. Now it's early, you can scoot that right hand out a little bit, but we want to make sure that that left hip moves into the floor, into the mat. And then we're going to dip that left shoulder towards that right knee, and then we're going to sweep it across. Left hand comes out, and then that right arm comes up and over. Stretch, that right hip gets a little bit heavy. And we're going to repeat that exact same movement on each side a few times, and potentially opening the body to a point maybe where we go a little bit quicker. Right arm comes down, sweeps across, right arm out and plants, left arm up and over. Stretch. Now you can certainly pause at any point of this practice. If there's an area that needs to get a little bit more attention, you can pause, you can stretch, you can breathe. Left arm across, right arm up and over. Stretch. Pull the belly in, stretch, right arm comes up, reaches across, left arm comes up and over. So this is starting to incorporate certainly the shoulder, working some of those abdominals. We want to stay strong there. And then we're starting to move the spine a little bit. The spine can move from side to side, move from extension to flexion, and just creating some more mobility. Let's do a few more times. Maybe we start to pick up the pace a little bit, entirely up to you. Just kind of feel the body this morning, or whatever time you're practicing. We have very active birds in the trees above us and to the side. They're very chirpy this morning, which is kind of a nice addition to the practice. Something about practicing outside and being with nature. Let's do a few more times. And then from that position, we'll do one more time to the left arm, right side, and then sweep it across, come back into neutral. Take your right shin and just simply cross it in front of the left. Sit up as tall as you can, flex both ankles so shins are roughly parallel to the side of the mat. Hands come back behind you, root down, shoulders back, sit up as tall as you can. Simple twist. Early on, right hand, left knee, and you're going to work on moving that right side body to the left. And by virtue of the right side moving to the left, we of course then move the left side to the right. So often in twists, I see students trying to take their gaze and just really stretch it back around, even trying to look back over their, in this instance, left shoulder. It's really working the side body. We don't need to take our gaze too far back. That just puts a lot of pressure on the neck. We can just move that core, stretch. And then once we're in this position, sit up as tall as you can, allowing that left hand to be nice and heavy. And we're going to move that right ear towards the right shoulder. And we're going to feel that nice big stretch on the left side of the neck. And allow that left shoulder to move down some. Feel that stretch. Keep that left hand a little bit heavier. And then from that position, kind of roll that chin into the chest. Lift up, and then switch sides. Left hand, right knee, right hand behind you, right hand heavy. Sit up super tall. Start to move left side to the right, right side to the left. Twist. And we'll keep that theme of moving the side body throughout our practice today. And then from that position, the left ear to the left shoulder. Right shoulder can move down a little bit. Stay focused on your breath. Stay committed to the actions that you have created moving into this posture. Roll the chin into the chest. Lift. Come back into neutral. And then from that position, we're going to do one more side. Cross the left in front of the right. Sit up as tall as you can. Right hand moves back to the left knee. Second side. Okay. Stretch. Left ear, right ear, right shoulder. Stretch. Sit up tall. Left ribs to the right. Right ribs to the left. Breathe. Chin sweeps into the chest. We lift. Switching sides. Sit up. Twist. Shoulders back. Left ear, left shoulder. And chin to chest. Lift up. Come back into neutral. Uncross the legs, and let's come to all fours, hands and knees. So from our hands and knees position, have one of your therapy balls, tennis balls, whatever you're using. If you don't have anything, again, it's fine. As you come to all fours, take the position of shoulders over wrists, knees under hips, and then from that position, push in from the shoulder girdle into the hands so you feel a little bit of rounding in your upper back. Squeeze towards the midline cat-cow. Inhale, exhale. Couple more. Starting to work that spine in a little bit greater movement, range of motion. Good. And then from that position, let's come into neutral, and then you're going to bring the knees completely together. Arms stay where they are. Right leg is going to move back, right foot is going to come off the floor. Push through the heel, root the hands down. Take that right foot, cross it back of the left, place it on the floor outside the mat. Push into the hands, really work on rounding your back, and then look around towards that right foot. And as we do, we're going to pull that right hip back. Root down into the hands. Good. Come back into neutral. Now take that right foot straight back. Turn your left foot in a little bit and then reach that right foot back. So what we're doing here is we're starting to tap in a little bit towards the hips. but we're going to drop down to our forearms if that's comfortable for you. Move the shoulders back, stay strong on that right foot, lift your chin, look forward, and breathe. And then release the hands back down, scoot forward, right knee comes back, left leg moves back, left foot comes up, push through the heel, stretch it to the outside on the right, root down in the hands, look over your right shoulder towards that left foot. Stay strong, breathe, pull the left hip back, open that left side. Awesome. Neutral, left leg up, stretch it back, turn the right toes in, and then scoot back a little bit so we take that outer right hip and start to rotate it back. If it's comfortable, drop down to your forearms. If we do that, move the shoulders back, take the heart forward, lift the chin, look forward. Couple rounds of breath. Root the hands, lift up, stretch back, all fours. One more little bit of work here. Right foot goes back again, legs still together. Stretch it back, shift to the left. Grab your therapy ball. Take your right hand towards your hip. Now this left hand is going to get heavy. That left shoulder is going to move into that left hand. So we want to feel this side of our body, that left side engaged. Move that right shoulder back, holding the ball. Squeeze it, take it out towards the side body, okay, stretch it like I'm moving it towards the camera right now, and then I'm going to pull that right shoulder straight back into my body, and I'm going to take my right arm up. I'll take my right arm over. Now I'm going to work that left ribs into the right, stretch. Now we're going to start some circles, okay, squeezing that ball, not trying to break it, just kind of engaging it, okay, just a couple circles, maybe 5 each direction. But we want to stay engaged and focused on the mobility of this right shoulder girdle. 2 more. We're using the rest of the body to stabilize this movement. So it's not a kind of passive posture, it's an active posture. Switch. Three more. And up. Now, from here, you're going to take that right hand and you're going to slide it and reach it behind the left over towards the left. And then open back up again. Just 5 more. More. 1 more. And release. I'm going to spin around here. Whoop. Left leg goes back, shift to the right. Left hand, left. Right hand to the mat, right shoulder heavy. Left hand, left shoulder move back. Squeeze your ball, point it towards the camera. Pull back and lift up. Stay active. Stretch it over and start your circles. Again, we're using every component of our body to stabilize this rounding movement of our shoulder. 2 more. 1 more. Pause at the top, reverse. Two more. Up, and then slide it behind the right, looking towards the right. Open back up again. Couple more. 2 more. One more. And release. Nicely done. Now from there back to our all fours position. We're going to work into downward dog in just a moment, but before we get there, we're going to scoot our knees back a little bit. Make sure that the hips are over the knees, and we're going to walk our hands forward. We're going to soften our upper back. We're going to squeeze the inner thighs together, and if you can reach the forehead down towards the ground, absolutely. You can always take your block and rest it underneath the forehead. Now from this position, I'm tilting my pelvis forward. I'm sticking my seat back, finding length. Soften that mid to upper back, that thoracic area of the spine. Rolling the shoulders open. And slowly release. Hands back. Move your knees back forward so you're in that nice stable, stable position of all fours. Tuck your toes under, stretch it back, downward dog. Now take a couple moments in down dog. Pedal the feet back and forth. Find your posture. Allow your hands to be firm into the mat. Take your pelvis and tilt it forward so you feel the energy of the hips pulling away from your hands. Now, feet are about hip width apart. Leave your hands rooted. Take your left hand and start to move it in the direction of your right foot. Now, you don't have to grab onto anything. Just start to peek underneath that right shoulder. Now, you can grab your right shin, thigh, wherever it's convenient for you and comfortable. Lift that right shoulder and peek underneath. Pull that right hip back. Let's switch sides. Move the right hand back. Again, it can stay on the floor. Grab, twist, left hip pulls back, breathe. Awesome. Right hand moves out. Inhale, heels high, knees down, exhale. Movement here. Inhale. Exhale back. Inhale forward. Down dog. 2 more of those. Heels high. Knees down. Inhale. Exhale back. Inhale. Exhale back. 1 more. Heels high. Knees down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Down dog. Stretch. Now from this position, simply walk your feet forward just a little bit. Walk your hands back. Bend the knees and slowly come up to standing. Now as you approach standing, take a moment in this posture. Breathe fully into the body space. Perfect. Take a few steps to get you at the top of the mat. Now, once you're at the top of the mat, we're going to do 2 half sun salutations, work into some wide leg stretching for the back body, a little bit of shoulder work, and we're going to work some twisting from that, and then we're going to come back to this position, okay? So, 2 half sun salutations in a row. On an inhale, stretch up. Lengthen and get long. Exhale, fold. As you inhale, half lift. Fold. Standing. Release. 1 more. Arms up. Fold. Half. Release. Standing. And that's our 2. Okay, now the body's a little bit warmer. We're going to take that right leg and we're going to step it back. We're going to open up towards the right. Take your feet a little bit wider. All right. Now from this position, turn your toes in so the sides of the feet are parallel to the front and the back of the mat. Take your hands to your hips. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Now bend the knees a little bit, and we want to tilt the pelvis forward so we kind of feel like we're sticking our butt back. Notice the chest moves forward. We're going to continue that. We're going to drop down halfway. Now, you can grab your block and have it handy here if you'd like, or we're going to take that left hand and place it right on the floor, directly in line with the forehead. Push down, lift up. Now simply roll that right shoulder open. Just take a peek over to the right. We're not going very far in this first round, but let that left hand be heavy enough to where you feel that shoulder engage and start to lift up. Rotate a little bit more. Breathe. Keep that seat tilting forward. Take your butt and feel like it's moving away from you to find length in the spine. Move the shoulders back and breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Look down. Simply switch hands. Right hand under the forehead. Push down. Activate that right side. Roll that left shoulder open. Left shoulder. Stretch. And both hands to the floor. Now, from this position, scoot your feet a little bit further apart. Cinch in, so try to draw the feet closer together isometrically. Take your left hand, actually let's do the right side. Take your right hand out forward a little bit. Push down so you feel the seat moving away from you, just like we did in the down dog position. Take that left hand, start to creep it over towards the right side. Lift that right shoulder. Take a peek underneath. Now, if you have the room, and you can grab your right shin or thigh or ankle, let's do so. Root that right hand down, push it away from you, scoot the hips back, and deepen the twist. We'll breathe here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly release that left hand back out front. Right hand starts to move over towards the left. Left hand pushes down. Seat moves back. Left hand to the right hand to the left. Lift that left shoulder. Peek underneath and breathe. 5. Good. Release it. Walk your hands back. Inhale here. As you exhale, we're going to walk it to the right, coming into a runner's lunge. Left heel lifts. So from this position, we're going to root that left hand down. If you have the room, take it a little bit in front of that left shoulder. Root down on the hand. Root down on the right hand that's placed on top of that right knee. And then roll that right shoulder open. Take that left thigh and push it up. Maybe the right arm comes up. Maybe the right arm goes over. Pull that right hip back. Take that left thigh to the ceiling. Breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2. Right hand back on the inside. Now, from that, you're going to turn that left heel in. Left heel, right heel alignment. Okay, adjust accordingly. Walk the hands forward a little bit. Now, from that, pull that right hip back actively. Leave the right knee over the right ankle. Take your hands just off to the left a little bit. Move the hips away from the hand. Notice my hands aren't moving, but my hips are falling away from them. Tuck your tailbone a little bit and then actively pull that right hip back. 5 breaths. Stay strong in your legs, soften your heart. Good. Walk it back. Back to our original position, wide leg stance. Second side, walk your hands to the left, runner's lunge. Let that right hand rest in front of that right shoulder. From that, left hand, right hand heavy. Lift up, open up to the left. Left arm can come up. That right thigh moves up. The left hip moves back. Stretch. And right heel down. From that position, walk it forward a little bit. Pull that left hip back and then walk it back over to the right. Okay, now move your hips away from your hands and stretch. Legs are very active here. Couple rounds of breath. Walk it back. One more posture each side before my therapy ball gets away from me. From this position, inhale. Exhale back into a runner's lunge. Left knee comes down this time, hands to hips. Now from that position, move the shoulders back. Take your right hand to the right thigh. Roll that thigh open, left arm comes up. Now, we're going to pivot halfway, okay? So basically the left fingertips are pointing to whatever is in front of you. And then pull the belly in, little tuck of the tailbone. Left elbow is going to move over towards the top or the outside of that right knee. Tuck it in, okay? Now from there, move the shoulders back. You can stay here or hands come to prayer. If hands come to prayer, right elbow above. Push in and lift up and then gaze over towards the right if that's comfortable. You can always look down. Now pull that right hip back. Take that left hip and try to move it forward some. 5, 3, 2, 1. Engage the core. Slow release. Hands to the inside. Left knee lifts. Back to this lunging warrior. Hands out. Right hip moves back. Over to the left. Fall back away from the hands. Stretch. Now this time, if you have the stability in your hips and your legs, maybe the hands come off. You're falling back, making the hands light. 5, 4. Maybe that right hip drops down a little bit. 3, 2, 1. Turn it back in. On the side, and the breath, left side. Hands to hips. Set the pose, let it develop from the ground up. Shoulders back. Left hand, left thigh. Take the meat of that thigh and roll it open. Right arm comes up. Lean forward some. Stretch it over. Hook it. Maybe right hand, left hand meet. Push down, lift up, and open up to the left. The action is outer hips, move in. 5, 4, 3, 2. Super engage core. Slow-mo release. Come back. Hands down, right knee lifts. Lunging warrior. Second, last side. Now again, maybe the hips fall back enough to where the hands get light. Draw the legs together. Cinch. Breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Walk it back. Half lift. Inhale. Exhale. Fold. Squeeze in the thighs. Maybe the hands come to your ankles. Try to pull up a little bit. Take your seat up. Tilt the pelvis forward and fold. And release. Nicely done. Scoot the feet together. Half lift, fold again. Standing. Now as you approach the top of this standing position, take some deep, full breaths. Allow the body to now get situated in our new position, our standing posture. We spend a lot of time with head down, so take some deep, full breaths. Now, from this position, we're going to come down to hands and knees. We're going to work some shoulder and twisting combination. If you have a wall that you can position yourself in front of, let's hit pause, move to that position. And if you don't, it's totally okay. We can work around it. I'm going to use this railing here as my wall. So let's come down to downward dog. On an inhale, stretch up. On an exhale, fold. Half, step back. Now, from our down dog, take some breaths. Stretch the seat back. Take some deep, full breaths. And as you exhale, we want to feel that seat being energized and gets lighter as it moves away from our hands. Upper back moves in, strong arms. 5 breaths. And release. Now, come to hands or knees position, kneeling. Take your block if you have it. If you don't, totally fine. You're going to take it in this flat position and you're going to place it against the wall. Okay? I'll do it here. You're going to take your, actually I'll move over here. You're going to take your left, you're going to squeeze the palm. You're going to lightly push that block into what it's against. Now, the reason why I like to do this is it keeps that left side, in this instance, active. If I don't have anything that I'm holding in the place, through a few rounds of breath and action, this is going to happen. I'll get a little lazy on that side to release it. So this is just a tool to keep us honest in this posture. All right? So, here, if you have your therapy ball, grab it. Take it out, squeeze it, pull that shoulder back, and then take that arm, point it towards the wall in front of you. Now, squeeze the inner thighs together. You're going to pull that right arm in, and you're going to open up towards the right, and you're going to follow with your eyes. Twist. Now you're going to bring it back. Notice I'm not changing my gaze yet. Now I start to change my gaze. Now once I'm in this position, I'm going to look to the left. I'm going to look neutral, and I'm going to look to the right. Okay? Let's do a few of these in a row. Pull back, open up, twist, move it in, and at this point is when I start to move my gaze, my neck. Left hand stays firm in the block. Look to the left, look to neutral, look to the right. Let's do 2 more. Pull in. You're moving with resistance, open up. Hips are square. Stretch back. Strong left arm. Move in. Release. Look to the left. To neutral. To right. To neutral. 1 more. In. Open. Stretch. Back. Push. Look neutral. Left. Center, right, release, and you're done with this side. Now, sit back. If you can come to this position, kneeling, okay, Vajrasana or hero's pose. Take your left hand, you can use your block if you want. Take your left hand behind you, okay, push down. Now, your hips and heels can be in contact, or lift your hips a little bit higher. Take your right arm out, pull it in, and then start some circles on this right side. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Switch directions. Again, like we did earlier, all other areas of our body are working to stabilize the movement of this joint. 2 more. And release. Hips back down. Squeeze in, lift up, second side. So I'll scoot over a little bit. This time, right hand, block. Position yourself to where that arm is straight and strong. From this position, left arm moves out, squeezing my therapy ball, move my left shoulder in, point it towards the wall in front of me. Pull in, and then open up. Pull back. Now change my gaze. Look to the right. Look to neutral. To the left. Center. Pull back. Move. In. neutral, left. Right, neutral, left. One more. Right, neutral, left, neutral, release. Sit back again, heels to seat. Right hand comes behind you. Again, you don't need to lift your hips, but if you have that stability in the core, in the midsection, let's lift the hips a little bit. Left arm comes out, lift it up, start your circles. Again, other areas of the body are working to stabilize this movement. We're enhancing and improving the mobility of that left shoulder. Let's do two more. And let's reverse. Two more. One more. And release. Nicely done. Now, from this position, come back into your kneeling. From here, if you have two therapy balls, grab them. If you don't, again, you can certainly do this without. Let's tuck the toes under. Hands to hips. Shoulders are back. Ribs are back. Take a little tuck of your tailbone, okay? From that position, take both arms out. Pull both shoulders back. Open up and bend your elbows. Now, squeeze the balls. In your hands, move the shoulders back. Move the ribs back. Inhale and then exhale. And as we do, we're going to tuck our tailbone a little bit and we're going to round. And then we're going to open up. Okay, let's do about 5 of these in a row without a lot of movement in our hips. Very subtle. 2 more. Okay. And open up. Now, we can add a little bit hips. If that felt good and you want to stay in that type of range of motion, absolutely. Otherwise, inhale. Exhale, squeeze, maybe hips go all the way down towards the heels, and we round. And then we open up again. And we release. Now my toes are tucked under, but if you want to get a little bit more range of motion, untuck, sit all the way back. Hips, core, thigh, hamstring, glutes, shoulder, finding length. 6 more. Three more. One more. Open and release. Beautifully done. Come back to a seated posture, seat to mat, and then from this position, take the right shin back in front of the left. Sit up super tall. Hands come back behind you. Rotate the shoulders back, lean forward into your thighs. Stretch. Let the hands move forward. Reach the heart forward. Keep the sit bones moving into the floor. Walk it over to the left. As you walk to the left, we make the right hip heavier. The little friends, the ants. Pull that right hip away from the right hand. Root it down. Walk it back into neutral. Elevate. From this position, roll back. Undo the cross, left in front of right. Hands come back forward. Stretch. Walk it to the left. Pull that left hip back and down. Breathing full rounds of breath. Walk it back into neutral. Roll back, undo the cross again. Take your arms out. Eagle arms. Right arm is going to cross way up above that left. Cross and bring your palms together. Now, if this is uncomfortable, I'm going to turn profile so you can see the actions, okay? All right, so from here, sit up tall, forearms together. Now, if this is uncomfortable, just bring your forearms together. Elbows and shoulders are about the same height. Now, move the elbows away from you and then tilt your forearms to the right. Drop your left ear to your left shoulder. Five breaths. Lift up, come back into neutral. Inhale, slow release. Exhale, take them back out. Sit up, and then cross the left way over the right. Eagle arms. Again, if this is uncomfortable, okay, or a little tight in the shoulders, okay, come palm to palm, forearm to forearm. Elbows and shoulder height, move the elbows forward. From this position, you're going to move the forearms and tilt them to the left a little bit, and right ear, right shoulder. And release, undo, take your arms out. Now, cross the left shin in front of the right. Arms back out. Take the right, cross it up and over. Okay? Now from this, you're going to move the elbows back. Okay? Pull into the body. Sit up tall. Take your elbows and your forearms and move them to the left. Your gaze is straight forward. Now take your right shoulder and actively pull back across your right side body, okay? But resist with the arms. So you're stretching that scapula, right shoulder, shoulder blade, sit up tall, strong in the core. And come into neutral, slow undo, reach. Left arm crosses way up. Eagle arms, second last side. Now we're going to pull those elbows back, take the elbows and the forearms to the right, look forward, and then pull that left arm back, resist with the forearms and elbows, and breathe. And come back into neutral and release. Nicely done. Couple shoulder rolls up and back. Now one more seated posture before we come to our back. Do some nice twisting from our reclined position, and then from there, a good Shavasana. Take your therapy balls again, tennis balls, whatever you have. If you don't have them, that's totally fine. Take your arms straight out. Now, from that position, feel like the arms are pulling you forward to elevate this torso. Really sit up tall. Now pull the shoulders back into the body. So it's not protraction, you're pulling back. Now all you're going to do, we've done this before in our classes, but maybe on this visual you can see the action. My right arm is going to stay straight. My right hand is clamping down on the ball. I'm just going to take my right arm up and I'm going to push it forward. Okay? So the action is up and forward. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the left. So my left hand is now in front of my right. And I'm going to do it again on the right side. Do it again on the left. I'm feeling like I'm walking on my hands. Now, of course, this can be done without the therapy ball or tennis ball. Okay? Just keep stretching. Sitting as tall as you can. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now, we're going to simply reverse that walking into the body. Right arm back, left arm back now. Right arm back, left arm, right arm. So now we're creating that nice movement in the shoulder girdle. 5 more. 5, 4, sit tall. 3, 2, and 1. One more time forward. Walk it forward. Keep clamping down on that ball. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sit up tall, reverse it. Last one. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and release. Woo! Nicely done. That always gets me. Okay, it doesn't seem like a whole lot, but when you do it 2 or 3 times in a row, both directions, engaging your arms by using those therapy balls, it really does engage the shoulder. Wonderful stability builder, works on mobility, good all-around position. So we're going to come to our backs now, and from there, roll to your back. Take the soles of the feet to the floor. Now, from here, legs together, left ankle over right knee. Now, from this position, we're going to move the right foot to the left a little bit. We're going to take that right arm behind us, and we're going to stretch it, okay? Now, we're simply going to roll to the right. Now, my right side is going to rest on that right biceps, okay? So I'm in this position. Now, take my left knee, and I'm going to move it away from me. Left foot is rooted. Now, if you're comfortable here, we're going to take that left arm. I'm going to stretch it away from me. I'm going to lift up. I'm going to stretch over. If I can interlace my hands, then I'm going to interlace my hands. And I'm going to stretch. I'm going to take that right ribs and I'm going to try to move it into the left. And I'm going to stretch. Couple rounds of breath. Now, staying with the legs where they are, I'm going to release my left hand and I'm going to let it roll out to the left a little bit. My right hand is now going to come to a T position on the right side. My left arm is going to stretch out and I'm going to look towards the sky, or I'm going to look towards my left arm. A few rounds of breath. Nicely done. On an inhale, full breath, exhale back into neutral, move the right foot to the right a little bit and take your knees over to the left. So that counter twist, your arms can pretty much stay in the position. Now we're just going to switch our gaze to the right. Excellent. Exhale back into neutral. Now, once you're back into neutral, keeping that figure 4, bring that right knee in towards your chest. Grab your shin or your hamstring on the right side. Shoulders back, flex both feet, and stretch. Gently encourage that right thigh in. You can lift your shoulders round, come to a tight little ball, stretch, and release. Good. From that position, we're going to do second side. Now, I'm going to have my back to you so you can see the actions, okay? All right, so hopefully as I turn, I'll speak a little louder so you can hear me. Right over the left, move your left foot to the right a little bit. Take your left arm up and over, and then roll to the left. You're pretty much on your side body. Now, from here, right arm comes up, right knee moves away a little bit, right hand comes up and over. Stretch, lift, right arm releases, sweep it around, left arm transitions out to a T, right arm comes up, and we're now in a nice twisting position, opening up towards the right. A couple rounds of breath. Nicely done. On an inhale, full breath, exhale back into neutral. Simply move the left foot over to the left a little bit, and then drop your knees over towards the right. Come back into neutral on an exhale. Square yourself, bring that left shin in, flex both feet, hands around shin or hamstring. Flex, round, squeeze, and release. Both feet to the floor. Let your knees open wide. Take your arms out to a T. Inhale. Just let your knees fall out and apart as you exhale. From this position, take one foot out to the right. Scoot the other side, left out. We'll take a couple minutes in Shavasana. Take a deep, full breath. As you exhale to release, just feel all the energy move out of the body that you have left, releasing any tension through in the body, out into the mat. Ease the breath. Begin to deepen your breath. If you have some extended time that you'd like to stay in Shavasana for a little bit longer, you're absolutely encouraged and welcome to do so. Those who are specific in their time that they have for practice today, we start to breathe deeper. We start to move the fingers and the toes, stretching the arms up and over our head as we take that deep, full breath and stretch. From that position, simply roll to your right side and then slowly make your way into a comfortable seated posture where we pause for a moment or two. In this seated posture, we sit fully, we sit engaged, and we sit mindfully, sit aware of our body space. Recalling the intention of our practice, we offer the hands into prayer. We bow our heads. Thank you so much for joining me today and practicing these shoulders and twists. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, and we will see you next time. Namaste.